Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm looking at a pen from Pelikan. Now this isn't one of the high-end Pelikan models. It's not one of the low-end entry sort of student pens, but it is not the high-end ones. It is the M200 model. And I feel like I've neglected this pen by not reviewing it until now. I think it's actually a really important pen in the market. This is how it comes packaged. Now, this isn't one of the limited edition, special edition colors for a particular year or anything. This is one of the stock colors that you can get regularly. It's a really, really nice packaging. The little, ribbon pull there, and it comes in this little faux leather sort of casey sleevey thing, of course wrapped up better than that. Instruction booklet, warranty information, all that kind of thing. And then this is the pen. This is the brown marble or the brown swirl version of the M200. And I say M200 because it has the gold trim. If M200 is gold trim, if it was an M205, it's got silver trim. Like this is the M805, the 800 model, but with the silver trim, so it's the 805. That's kind of how the numbering system works. And yeah, I really think this is an important pen in their lineup for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it is the lowest end of the Sovereign range. Oh, drop it there. It's got a steel nib, but it's relatively affordable. I want to talk a little bit about the pricing later, but let's talk about the parts and features of the pen first. Okay, starting at the top, we get the Pelikan logo printed on the top of the pen. We get a nice sort of tiered cap finial there, and then the clips are on a band that runs around. The clip is fairly stiff but usable, and it's that Pelikan bill clip there. You can see like the shape of the bill coming out there for the clip. The cap is basically cylindrical, and then we get the cap band which says Pelikan Germany. It is a screw pen and it unscrews in less than one turn, which is wonderful. The barrel of the pen then continues along. We get a gold ring and then the piston filling knob. Now this is a brown swirl, so the material is this brown, like luminescent sort of material. It's really nice, it's semi-translucent. I say piston filling knob, this is a piston filling pen. So once again, I've shown these before. You dip the pen into the bottle of ink so that the nib is submerged, and you turn this knob. I won't do it now because it is full of ink, and a little piston stopper runs up and down the pen as you operate the knob. As it goes down, it pushes out the air and you pull it back up, and that vacuum that's created draws ink up into the pen. It's a lovely contained way of filling the pen. We have an ink window here. You can kind of maybe just make it out. This sort of translucent material just here. Then we get some cap threads, which are nice and smooth, and a small plastic section with a little flare on the end there, and then Pelikan's steel it's their own nib. This is a fine with a plastic feed there. I think the Pelikan feed to nib sort of profile I think is really interesting, and it's kind of cool. It is a smaller pen. It's designed to be a smaller pen. It fits well in the hand. It writes very similarly to some of their other pens, of course, being Pelikan. It's well made and writes well on those kinds of things. But its size makes this a really nice carry pen, and it's also not too ostentatious. So if you're using this in a work setting, it's not going to draw too much attention to the pen. One thing that's really nice about a Pelikan pen, particularly these piston filling pens, is the ink capacity. And of course, this is a smaller ink capacity because it is a smaller pen. Like, I'll show a proper size comparison, but that's it in comparison to the M805. But the ink capacity of this is still 1.54 milliliters. So we are, it's more than, it's probably close to two sort of standard cartridges in this pen, which is wonderful. It's great to have enough, you've got enough ink there to last you quite a while, and particularly with a fine nib. You can get this in everything from extra fine through to broad, and of course the broader the nib, the more ink it will use. But this is a fairly generous fine, and it's nice to write with. Size comparison now, you can definitely see it is on the smaller side. It's smaller than Lamy Safari, and it's much smaller there than its bigger brother, the M805. Uncapped, it's still smaller. It's okay. Like, you can see it alongside the M805. Like, the actual body size is not terribly different, a matter of a few millimeters. But the M805 there has the much bigger nib, so you've got a nicer distance away from the page when you write. Posted, which I think is this pen's intended way to write, you can see it is a lot smaller, but it makes it a big enough size that it fits comfortably in the hand. So what are the dimensions for the M205? Well, it's 126 millimeters when it is capped, so on the smaller side of it, very, sort of small in the hand. Uncapped, it's 121, so you only lose a couple of millimeters, which does make it a decent enough size to write with if that is what you decide to do. But it does post, and it posts very nicely to 149 millimeters. The weight, I will say now, the weight of the pen is in entirety is 12 grams, and most of that is in the barrel. But there is a little bit of weight here in the clip, which does mean when you do post it, you do feel that weight back in your hand. So that is something to be aware of. But it does post to a nice length, and it makes a very, very comfortable writing pen. I just want to say something here when I'm talking about posting. Now, a lot of pens that are piston filling pens post onto the piston knob. Particularly we see this in a lot of, not lower end, but like more affordable pen brands, onto the piston knob. That is a bad way of posting, because if you bump the cap, you activate the piston knob. Pelikan post it down onto the barrel, which makes it a much more secure way of posting a piston filling pen, and something that other brands really should be looking at. Time for a writing sample now with the Pelikan M200. If I've been saying 205s and things like that, I'm sorry. It's the M200. I'm sorry. With a steel fine nib. Now, as I said, this is just the standard brown color. They do special editions and different colors each year depending on the inks and things like that. This is a sort of a standard model. The ink I have in this is a Pelikan ink. It's an Edelstein. It's the ink of the year a few years ago. It's Smoky Quartz. Okay, writing time. Okay, it writes really, really well. Quick writing. No issues whatsoever. I really think that these Pelikan pens are some of the best writers on the market. They're generous, have good flow. They're reliable. They're smooth. Reverse writing, exceptionally smooth, like super smooth, but would dry out very quickly. Get a couple of words out if you needed to. Flex writing, no. It's sort of slightly soft, but not springy. It's just a little bouncy perhaps, but it is not a flex pen. It just pushes down more ink, and as you can see, it pushes down quite a lot. So this is a really nice pen. It's beautifully tuned to write under its own weight. These Pelikan, as I said, some of the best writers around. I think that the nibs are well tuned, they're well designed. All the mechanism seems to sort of be all really well thought out. Time for some pros and cons now for the Pelikan M200. Yes, M200, as I should be saying. Firstly, let's start with the cons. So it's hard to pick cons in a pen like this, because it does everything it's designed to do. It's from a really nice brand. So basically, if you like bigger pens, get a bigger model of this, like the M800, if you can afford that. The M200 is a smaller pen, but that is what it is designed to be. It has a steel nib, but it will accept the gold nib from the M200, the 14 karat gold nib. So if you like this size, everything about this, but want a gold nib, you can get one. Awesome. Now, I'm going to say price is a con, maybe. I have things to talk about with price. Firstly, what is the price? Well, I've taken price from 3 different countries. In the US, it retails, this model of pen, not this particular version, but this model of pen retails for around $200 US. It can be found for cheaper, depending on sales and things, at around $150 US. But all the other countries can have discount pricing as well. In the UK, it is £80 and euro is about €95. Now, £80 and around €95 are pretty close. Both of those translate to about 150 Australian dollars, but 200 US translates to 270 Australian dollars. So we are talking a big markup there, like 120 Australian dollars more just to get it from the US. Huge. Now, should a pen like this cost this much? And this is what I wanted to talk about. The sum of it, the individual cost of all of its parts would not come anywhere close to this. You get markups for, distributors and sales and exporting and all of that kind of stuff. And businesses need to make profit so that they can continue to provide items to us that we want. And that is why I kind of think that, you're buying a Pelikan pen. You're not buying a cheap Chinese pen. So you're buying a pen from a brand that is incredibly well respected, makes amazing pens down to student pens like the Twist and the, Pelicano and things like that are $20 and less dollars. So you are getting a pen that is from a brand that has a wide range of pens, but this Sovereign range is going to cost more. So you're buying this pen knowing that. You're getting an excellent writing pen. It has an excellent piston. Like, the piston in this pen is incredible. Smooth, reliable, wonderful. I have a vintage, it's actually a vintage M250, which has basically the 200 model. Slightly different because it's 30 odd years old, almost 40 years old, I think. It's a 250 because it comes with a gold nib, but the mechanism on that still works beautifully. So lots and lots and lots. That is really commendable. The history, the name, the different editions you can get of this pen, all absolutely wonderful. The packaging, fabulous. But this is a pen and it should write. And this one does beautifully. So the M200 model, this is the the standard brown, a really, really nice pen. I hope you found this video interesting and useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. Please feel free to get in touch using any of the platforms listed below. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at @the_offstage_me, or you can contact me on any of my videos here or drop me an email, which is listed down below. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you'd like to support the channel by sponsoring a review or providing an item for review, I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.